Good morning, fellow gardeners. This is Leon here with you today. I'm going to show you how we grow the tomatoes in a self-wicking bucket sitting on a barrel. This barrel is empty. There's nothing in it. We're just using it for height to get our tomatoes up here at this height. And instead of having to tie them or put a cage around them, we're going to let them hang over like a hanging basket. And so this is your self-wicking bucket, which has the false bottom in the bottom of it, the soil in it. It holds water up to this hole. You can refer back to a previous video how to make these self-wicking containers that we do. And then we put the water and the fertilizer in there. We put 4 tomato plants in this container. We let 2 of them come this way and 2 go the other way. And they just hang off. And you don't have to tie them up. Don't have to cage them. And you can see these are already starting to make tomatoes right here. There's some little tomatoes on that one. Here's tomatoes on this one. It's starting to hang over. Give you a little idea how they'll do. There's another one over in the center over there that has this tomatoes, the first hand of tomatoes already started. And anyway, these will just hang over and hang all the way to the ground. Now, the only downside of this container sitting on a barrel, the downside of it is that the plant will hit the ground before I get this season over with. And so in another video, we're going to show you what we have done to compensate this to make it taller so we can grow a longer plant and have more tomatoes grow on this plant.
Question: does it make any difference what kind of tomato plant that you use?
Okay, that's a good question, Jack. We use determinate plants. There is indeterminate, which grows on and on and on. They'll get 20 or 30 feet long. There's determinate, which is, remember, determined to only grow 4 to 5 to 6 feet tall. So we use determinates because we have no place to go with an indeterminate plant that's going to grow that long. So we use a little determinate. Even like Early Girl, it gets too long to grow in this container. I grew it 4 years ago and it hit the ground pretty bad and ran out there 2 or 3 feet. So I went back to another one and chose a early dial so that it would not grow as long, but this one still hits the ground. Now what we have done to help with a little of that, the tomatoes that we plant on this side, we pushed them that way. The ones we planted over here, we've made them go this way, and that gave you another 18 inches of growth before it started off the side. But this is easy to do. You don't have to tie them up. You don't have to cage them. Just wanted to show you this, and we'll show you an update on the next video or another video how we've went on up and grown them either taller than this. Good morning, fellow gardeners. Well, we're in another house, different house from where we showed you in the previous video of the tub sitting on one barrel, and the downside of that was that the tomato will hit the ground before we want it to. So I came in here and I put a barrel here, filled it full of water, and then I set another barrel on top of it and welded it or tacked it in 4 places so that these wouldn't turn over. I didn't want a child to get in here and get hurt or anything. So this barrel is empty. This one's full of water. And then we set our tub on top of the second barrel, which makes it, you can see now, in the airways. And so that's what we've done. We've come up here and we've planted our 4 tomato plants. We're going to have these 2 to go that way and those 2 over there to come back this way, and we'll let them hang over and just be a solid mat of tomatoes. Now we know we're going to have to start picking tomatoes off of the ladder because there's already blossom sets up here on the top already. So we'll have tomatoes up here we have to pick. Then we'll pick as the tomatoes come over. Then when they get on down here, we'll start picking off of the ground. But we're just trying this to see, to save having to tie them up or put cages. We're going to let them hang off the side and see how this works. Our only concern might be that it might get a little hot up towards the top, close to the top of this plastic in the summertime. If that gets to be a problem, we're going to put a shade cloth over the top of it, about a 40%, and see if that doesn't help us to get through. We'll pull the sides up. This morning it's raining. It's about 50 some odd degrees, still pretty cool, so we haven't pulled the sides up yet. But anyway, this is what we wanted to show you, how to do these in a taller bucket. Let them hang over and make your life more simple. We're still in the self-wicking bucket. It has about 4 inches of water in the bottom of it. We put fertilize in this water. Every time we add water, about once a week, we will put our fertilizer in there with it. Because this plant likes to eat, drink, and breathe 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just like you do. And that's the reason we tell people, only feed your tomato plants on the days that you eat. Now in this house, we have 2 rows of these barrels, 1 row sitting here. We first made these frames here to try them, but it's kind of expensive to build this, time consuming, and so we made a few of these and then we came back and finished up with the 2 barrels, a lot cheaper method, easier to do, put our bucket on top. And so we made 2 rows of these barrels, 1 over here and 1 over there, to fill this house up with tomatoes. But then at the same time, there's a little room left in the middle, so we made some of these self-wicking buckets out of these 15-gallon containers that we're going to put cherry tomatoes in, and we're going to string them right straight up the center, and they'll just be growing in a narrow wall right here. And we will come back and show you some more video of that as we get those going and they get to growing. We'll be back with you on this.